welcome back to my studio. My name's Catherine and today I was going to do some designer gouache. I've got a Winsor & Newton lemon yellow, a Winsor & Newton Quinacridone Magenta, a Winsor & Newton primary blue. I've drawn out a wheel, a colour wheel, and I've marked the primaries, which are yellow, red and blue. So we'll have yellow, red and blue. When you mix a yellow and a red, you can get an orange, which will go in here. When you mix a red and a blue, you'll get a purple, and that will go in here. When you mix a blue and a yellow, we'll get a green, so we'll put green in here. So that's what I'm about to do. A primary colour is a colour that you cannot mix from any other colour. So your lemon yellow is as yellow as you can go. You can't mix a yellow. You can mix a yellow with a bit of orange to get a yellow orange, but how would you make a yellow? So when you realise this, you realise that, okay, there are three colours that we all need that can't really be made any other way but manufactured and in a tube. This is my Quinacridone Magenta. It's not as red as a cadmium red, but it is a colour that you couldn't really mix from any other colour. So this is another primary. This video is really geared at complete beginners who really don't know a thing about colour. And if that's you, then hello and welcome. Welcome to my channel. This is a primary blue. It's quite a greeny blue. It's not like an ultramarine blue. But again, we couldn't mix this from anything else really. So a blue, a red, and this is gouache, and you can do this in anything. I'm using gouache because, as you can see, it goes on in a fairly matte way, so that we won't have to deal with any variation. I'm trying to get it as flat and as matte as possible. This is quite translucent colour. It sort of doesn't quite want to sit. But there we are. So those are our three primaries. And you can stay with these three primaries for a very long time. You can interchange this lemon yellow with another yellow. You can interchange this red with another red, a cadmium red. You can interchange this blue with another blue. But you always really need a yellow, a red and a blue. You could even push a yellow into a yellow ochre, but that's a bit more advanced from where I want to go to today. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to mix the yellow and the red to make orange, the red and the blue to make purple, the yellow and the blue to make green. Okay, that's a pretty good orange. This mixture, when you've mixed 2 primaries, is then called a secondary. Primary meaning one colour, and secondary 2 colours. So I'll continue on and put the orange in here. Alright, I'm going to continue this way, so I'm going to mix the red and the blue to make a purple. And you can see what a beautiful purple this primary blue and this Quinacridone Magenta make. So that is our secondary purple, and we'll put them in here. And then finally we'll take the primary yellow and the primary blue and create a green. So we'll put some yellow in there. Goodness gracious, look at that. This is going to be some green. Green it is indeed. And we'll put the green into here as well. It's a very apple green, isn't it? Not necessarily a green you would find in nature, but a very pure, clean looking green. Okay, now to fill the outer, we need to then take the yellow up here. So we'll just go straight out of the tube again and add yellow in here. Now remember, what's this one called? What's the name of this yellow apart from it being lemon? That's right, it's a primary yellow. So we're now going to mix our yellow, primary yellow, with our secondary orange, the colour we made from the yellow and the red. So we're going to pop a bit of more yellow into this orange. To make it more yellowy, sort of halfway between the orange. Not quite yellowy enough yet. It'll take quite a lot of yellow, I think. There, you can clearly see that's more yellow than this and more orange than the yellow. So this now becomes a tertiary colour. Because we took yellow and red and made orange. Then we took that orange and added back more yellow. So we've messed with it, if you like, 3 times. To make the orange, we only messed with a yellow and a red. To make the yellow orange, we took yellow and red to make orange and stepped back and added more yellow. Now moving on, we're going to make a red orange. So to this mixture here, which is a sort of a yellowy orange, we can add more red. So now we're stepping the other way. And I think I'm going to have to squeeze a bit more. Oops. That's too much. Okay, so now I'm looking between this, what's in this, and what's there. And I think it's clearly a red orange. Yes, it's more red than the orange, and it's not as pure as the red magenta. This does take a bit of time. This will take you a little while, but it's very easy, it's very straightforward. And that's your red orange. And now we'll just put our red into here. That's our primary red again from there. So we'll just fill this in. Bit too much. There we are. And don't worry, this doesn't have to be, you're not going to get any prizes for how beautiful you make this. I know there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful colour charts out there. But the beauty of it isn't the point. The doing of it is the point. So we're taking some red and some blue now to make our, go back to our purple. That was our initial purple. But this one is called red purple. So we want a little bit more red in it. We want it to be redder. towards the red, then towards blue for blue purple. So this is red purple, and look at that. That makes a very clean, beautiful red purple. The reason for choosing these three primaries, the magenta, the primary blue and the lemon yellow, is because they do make very modern, marvellously clean colours, if you like. About as clean as you can get. And look at that. That is the most gorgeous red purple. That's a tertiary. That's our purple made from blue and red. Now we're going to pop the blue in. I don't know if it's probably not the best practice to stick your brush into tubes of paint, but I don't think there are any tube police that are going to come crashing my door down. I might get a comment, but you never know. Alright, so this is our primary blue. And look, this is all you'll ever really need on colour to make a colour wheel like this. You won't need to go anywhere else. Okay, I'm going to take my red purple, which is in this here. I'm going to add quite a healthy drop of blue into it and push it way beyond this purple towards the blue. So by adding blue, I'm knocking back the red. I don't know how far I want to go, but maybe there's good. That looks fairly blue-purple. And we pop. See, it's neither purple nor blue. It's halfway between. That's our tertiary blue-purple. Okay, we might need a clean palette here. We're going to make a green-blue and a yellow-green. So we'll start with the yellow-green, I think, which was here. So we'll get some clean yellow. Make a nice mixture of, probably take that out of there. Add a bit of blue in. Okay, now we're looking for a yellow-green. I think it needs a little bit more yellow to it. Take all of that. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So that's neither green nor yellow. So it's called yellow-green. And finally, we will put some more blue into our green and push it into the blue zone. I don't want to introduce blue into my tube, green into my tube. So there we are. That's actually a gorgeous greeny blue. And there we are. And that's your colour wheel. We've got our primary yellow, lemon yellow, primary red, Quinacridone Magenta, and primary blue, called primary blue, Winsor & Newton designer gouache. Yellow, red, blue, yellow and red make orange, red and blue make purple, yellow and blue make green. So we took our orange, purple and green and we made yellow orange, red purple, blue purple, green blue and yellow green. That's an awful lot of colours we just made out of 3 tubes of paint. Thank you for watching. This is part 1. Next time we'll be taking these 3 colours and the colours that we've made here, and we'll be pushing them further and exploring them further. So please join me for part 2, and I'll see you next time. Happy painting, and please take half an hour is all you need to make this and discover an amazing abundance of colours from 3 primary colours. Happy painting. See you next time.